Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Shameless in Chicago. I'm your host, Luke.
And this is Almighty Airmayne or Airmayne Lifts here.
Hello, Almighty.
I'm glad to be back for another episode.
I'm glad you are back, and I'm glad you're all back listening to another episode of Shameless in Chicago. On today's episode, we're going to be going over some Am I the Asshole Reddit stories.
Part 2.
All right, let's just jump right into this one, shall we?
Let's do it.
So our first story comes from user FrostyAccident6165, and the story is titled, Am I the Asshole for Threatening to Call the Police if my friend doesn't return my car? All right, a little more info. My wife and I have 2 vehicles, and mine was just sitting in the drive for ages. I can't work right now due to multiple back surgeries, so I decided to rent my car to a friend who is struggling for way below market price. I've known this person for 20 plus years. They pay for the insurance for the first month, no problem. But when it came time for pay the second month, they said they needed 1 more week to pay. No worries, I'm an understanding guy. Of course, the day came by and went with no payment. I am struggling financially and they know this. Anyways, I gave them an ultimatum that they needed to either pay for the month or return the car so I can use it or sell it. The deadline for my ultimatum is tonight and I haven't heard anything. Would I be the asshole if I threatened to report the car stolen in order to have it returned and or get my money? I was trying to do a favor for someone and I feel as though they are taking advantage of my caring nature. Any advice is appreciated. Side note, I am a chronic people pleaser who hates conflict. Doing this would be very uncomfortable for me and I don't know what other recourse I have. That's a sticky situation because you've known that person for over 20 years.
Well, I have an answer already, but I want to hear you go first.
I don't know if I would call the police about it, but then again, what more is there that you can do? This is like a legal issue at some point. You're loaning out this card to a person, but calling the police on them is a little extreme in my opinion.
I personally would.
You would call the police?
Well, yeah, I would call the police and then I would be like, hey, man, listen, this guy, I had him rent a car off me he's been my best friend for a while and he just hasn't been keeping up with the payments and he's been, kind of dodging me, not really being vocal or communicative about it. And I would like to report my car as stolen so I can get it back.
I wonder if that point, if you're the one who decides that you're going to press charges or if the state's going to press charges.
That would be between you, I believe.
So you can still call the police and not press charges? Oh, then I would definitely call the police. I mean, hey, what else are you going to make me have to do? You're making me jump through hoops for months to get my own car back? Oh, hell no.
Unless there's some legal binding agreement that you sell or something like that, that would be kind of hard for the police to do something with.
Yeah, but also no agreement's going to be, hey, you haven't paid in over a month.
Right.
Keep our car.
But legally, the thing is I don't think, it's been a while since I've done any law enforcement or criminal justice classes. It's been since first, second year of college. So hopefully I'm right on this. I don't think a handshake constitutes as a legal agreement.
I don't know. I have heard of verbal agreements, but you still need substantial evidence to back up that verbal agreement.
Exactly.
So, homie, you kind of fucked yourself over a little bit too.
If he has receipts of him paying him for the car, if he's sending, insurance payments,
even text messages, I think could constitute as some evidence.
I believe it does. Yeah, it does. It does count as substantial evidence. Yes.
But I don't know. I think that's a lesson. I don't think I could ever loan out my car. It's just so weird. You're gonna go around with one of the biggest assets I have. I would never. I understand that they're on disability and everything, but now look at the consequences. People take advantage of you.
Well, there's one thing that you could do too is you could just do it through Turo. So you could just rent it out to a stranger. That way, they're more likely to actually pay for that car.
And they handle all the legal stuff too, don't they?
Yeah, they handle literally everything with insurance and everything. So that would be you. But handing out to a friend, that is a little bit of a sticky situation. But if it was a friend of mine that I've had for 20 years and they weren't paying me, they were just dodging me, all my texts, my calls, then personally, yeah, I would call the cops.
Yeah, so you would say this person is not the asshole.
No.
I would say they're not the asshole either. At the end of the day, that's your property and this person is taking advantage of you because they think your situation is going to say you don't need a car.
So with this calling the police, yeah, you can call the cops, but I would seek guidance through legal counsel or the police first. Talk to a detective and be like, hey, man, I don't want to pursue anything yet, but, I just want to know what I can do in this situation and, what can be the possible outcomes for this before you actually have the police talk to that party.
I've changed my answer. I would just call the police. I wouldn't want to go through any more of that. I would say you put me through long enough, over a month. I gave you extra time. You didn't pay the insurance. You didn't pay for the rental fee. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
I would call the cops on you, Almighty. I'd say, go get that motherfucker.
I didn't do anything wrong, though.
Not yet, but when you take my car.
Not yet?
Not
Are you implying I'm a criminal?
Listen, you ever see the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
They would arrest you before you even committed the crime.
They'll just get one look at me and be like, all right, we got to put this guy in cuffs.
Yeah, but that's like kind of the big deal. That's why you don't really rent your stuff to friends that much. I don't think it's like really safe.
So me and my buddies, sometimes we share video games with each other. We do it in the way of doing it like giving physical CDs. That's what we used to do.
Retro.
Yeah, that's what we used to do like a few years ago, like way back when, like during high school and like early college. I used to like get like PS3 games for free and like PS4 games from my buddy because he still collects like a shit ton of like physical CDs for video games. So if there's a game I want to play and I'm like, dude, you know, like kind of feeling a game, I need a new game. Yo, you got anything good? Yeah, I got this game if you want to try it out. Next time we hang out, he just gives me the game. I play it for 3 weeks. I'm like, all right, you can have it back.
Now, what if you asked for the PlayStation?
He wouldn't do it.
Yeah, see, you shouldn't give up on these high ticket items. A video game is $60, $70 compared to your $500 system.
Yeah, and we also do it with computer games too on PC. So on PC, it's kind of funny how you do it. So for our listeners, matey, I got my video game. Arg.
My ears felt like nails on a chalkboard right there. Sorry, everyone.
Arg, how you obtain your video games is by plundering the Steam and getting them games. Arg, arg.
Is that Mr. Krabs? Did you just pirate Mr. Krabs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
SpongeBob me Bob.
Oh, my gosh. Well, you know what? I'm going to switch my answer to you're the asshole for pirating. You wouldn't steal Bikini Bottom, would you?
No, we're not talking about pirating. I don't pirate. For legal reasons, I do not pirate.
No, you plunder.
I plunder,
you plunder, you pillage. It's all different. It's like being a Viking on the water.
I plunder the piratebay.net. And I...
Oh, well, you know what? Pirates still count when it's streaming, right?
When I was younger, like maybe like 14, 15, maybe 16, 2000. Yeah, like 2011, 2012. I pirated like 6 games at once in the span of like an hour. And my internet provider at my parents' house sent me a letter saying that we're going to file suit on my parents because of my piracy activity when I was younger. And I was like, Mom, Dad, what does this mean? And I got like my computer privileges taken away for like a good month.
Oh my gosh. That's like when your parents find out that you're going on adult websites for the first time, but instead you're an international criminal.
Okay, but the pirates weren't even that serious. Okay, there were a few of them that I shouldn't have done. They were brand new games that came out at the time. I think it was like Saints Row 3, Skyrim, and like a few other ones. And then there was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas multiplayer, which me and my friend used to play all the time when we were younger. And that game's been out by that time, 2011. It was 2004 Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out. That game's already been out for so long, almost 7 years already. I don't see how it's a big issue when it comes to pirating, but they listed every single game that I pirated.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, fuck, okay.
Oh
I
my
gotta stop.
gosh. That's terrible. I myself have never had the know-how to pirate anything, so I've always felt safe.
I blame all my friends.
Yeah, that's always blame your friends.
Yeah, I blame you guys for making me pirate games.
At least you're not loading out your shit to them. But on our next story for Am I the Asshole, we've got one more comment for you. This one, I think, is pretty obvious. This person is not the asshole.
Yeah, what is it?
So the title for this, and the user is Top Clerk 9804. Am I the asshole for not warning someone about my stutter?
No.
Yeah, that's a little telling, but... So our story starts, I, 20 female, run an Instagram page for a hobby of mine. Typically, I do not post selfies or anything personal, but I recently celebrated a milestone and posted something a little personal. A guy I share a distant-ish mutual friend with slid into my DMs and we texted back and forth for a few days. It was a casual conversation and he was mainly asking about my hobbies and interests. A couple of days ago, he heard me speak for the first time and was surprised at my stutter. He said I should have warned him about it and that I'm misleading and that it was all too good to be true. Am I the asshole? We didn't text nearly frequently enough for me to have raised that point, and I think that the way he phrased it makes him the asshole. But I want to know your thoughts. And girl, you dodged a bullet. You dodged a bullet train. You dodged a bullet train firing bullets out of the windows of the bullet train because you just, oh my gosh. Every single red flag that man could have marked, he marked right for you. run the other direction.
I think she hit the ground running as soon as that happened.
I went on a date with a guy with a stutter once. I can tell you it's a little like, oh, okay. But it's really nothing to like end a potential relationship over. I think that guy's so superficial is stupid.
Right. I mean, I worked with a guy at one of my jobs who had a stutter, and coolest guy ever. I mean, there would be times where he would like stutter during like, sentences. Even I stutter sometimes. It's perfectly normal to stutter.
Yeah, and actually you get used to it after a while. I follow a comedian who stutters. He got hit in the throat with a softball, and it like impacted or did something with his vocal cords. So he can sing, like, his vocal cords allow him to sing, but when he talks, like, he's got to work through his sets. But the more that I see his posted videos on Facebook, the less I hear the stutter. And it's not that he's not stuttering, it's that my brain's taking out the spaces in which he's stuttering.
Right. That's the thing. People are going to stutter through sentences. Again, everybody stutters. I stutter. I'm sure you stutter.
We stutter through these whole fucking podcasts sometimes.
We do, yes.
Editing is a bitch.
Everybody stutters. It's not a big deal. Nothing to be concerned yourself with. But to be like, you didn't tell me that you stutter. That's so shallow. Like you said, she dodged.
You were so sexy until you stuttered.
You stuttered? Red flag. I'm not talking to you anymore.
I don't know if we can go along with this because you're a stutterer. That's disgusting.
That's ridiculous. Like, homie literally has the worst Rizz in history. Speaking of worst Rizz in history, I saw the worst Rizz ever yesterday.
Oh, tell me about the worst Rizz.
We're getting a little off topic on this one, but man, me and my friend went to a bar that we frequent out by his apartment. And this bar is like a nice, like, dancey, just chill vibe. Like, it's chill before 9:30. Once it's like 10 o'clock, it turns into this freaking dance club. And me and him were just chilling there, having a good time, sitting in the corner, just like laughing at people and people watching. And then up comes this like Eastern European dude and like with sagged pants and like a black sweater, all bald. He looks like a thumb. Imagine a thumb, but like Hitman Agent 47.
Oh no. He looked like Dave Bautista?
Yep, Dave Bautista. He literally looked like Dave Bautista.
Oh no.
He even had the same face as Hitman too. But yeah, he's just standing there and everyone's like dancing, having a good time and stuff. And this dude's just sitting there with a Modelo in his hand, just like sitting here, like talking to himself. And me and Donald are just like, what's going on with this guy?
My man has absolutely zero Rizz.
And okay, the best part, let me talk about the Rizz. This dude would go up to people, groups of girls, grab their arm and be like talking to them, asking if they want to dance, and they'd be like, ew, no. And then this one girl was twerking on this dude. He went up to her and like hugged her in the middle of a twerk. I'm like, bro, you are a menace. And the boyfriend, I'm assuming boyfriend or like, I don't know, sugar daddy was like behind her. And he just like walked away and started laughing it off. I'm like, brother, if this was Nin and he did some shit to Nin like that, I would knock him the fuck out. Like, homie, I would throw that guy off the third story onto the street.
There is nothing worse than a where's my hug motherfucker.
Yeah, he's like, he was literally a where's my hug motherfucker. And it was so funny because he was just sitting there like rapping to himself and like talking to himself and stuff. Like, is this guy okay? Me and my buddy were just looking at him and we're like, dude, literally worst Rizz ever. He would go up to girls, try to talk to them. There was these two girls dancing behind us, me and my friend. He started walking up to them and like trying to dance with them. He was like doing some weird, like, I don't know, like ventriloquist, like shake.
Maybe he's like a big hockey fan for Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
No.
It's like, I'm trying.
No, this dude definitely looked like Eastern European mafia.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those two girls were behind us and they look at us and they're like, hey, you're not weird, right? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, cool. That guy's freaking weirding us out. I'm like, yeah, he is a little creepy. I agree.
Yeah, you're lucky that you're big because you can be the scary dog privileges for those girls who need help.
Right. It was just so freaking funny to watch. And then we met these two dudes that we were like, at the bar. Like me and my buddy were just like doing some dances and stuff. And then we were doing these dances and then these two guys were behind us and they saw us and they were just like, yo. And then they started doing the same dance as us. And then we were pointing out that guy over there looks like an Eastern European Agent 47 and they're laughing their ass off. They're like, dude, 100%, bro.
I'm glad we could all come together against the Eastern European Agent 47, Dave Bautista. Now, that guy, I can definitely say, would be the asshole. You shouldn't be going up to random girls and assuming that you can just dance with them.
And the cherry on top of it.
Oh.
The cherry on top. Yeah, me and my buddy made friends with these dudes, and it was like a whole group of them, and like everyone, they were all super chill. I was telling them, like, dude, homie's got the worst Rizz game ever, and they're like, how bad is it? I'm like, He's walking up to girls and grabbing their arm and asking to dance with them and trying to make small talk, but he's failing so hard. They're like, is he bad at talking to girls? I'm like, no, literally, homie just has the worst Rizz I've ever seen in my life. We start leaving, going outside because I guess they wanted to go smoke. Right. And I was like, me and my buddy are just going to go with. Why not? They're new friends we just made. So we walk outside. The one friend we made accidentally bumps into him. He gets pissed. He like drops his drink and he starts like looking at him and squaring up. This guy in the middle was like, yo, bro, chill. He just walked into you by accident. And
Baba Yaga's about to punch you in the face.
Yeah, for real. I'm like, bro, this guy's like on some shit. 100%. Yeah, we go downstairs to go smoke. And I learned that they're fellow Balkaners downstairs, the new guys we just met. And I'm like, oh, that's good. Ugh. Like, what's up?
There's more of you.
It was... Hey, the whole Balkan Peninsula was there, bro. Downstairs, it was me, the Albanian, the 2 Bulgarian guys, a Serb, Greek guy, and we were just missing a Macedonian, Bosnian, and a few other people. But yeah, it was hilarious. I'm like, no way.
Well, I don't think there's that many assholes on the internet of Reddit. Maybe just a bunch of self-conscious people from what I've seen so far. But there's definitely plenty of assholes at bars. Whether you be American, European, whether you be from Mars, if you don't know how to act, you don't know how to act.
Ooh, I've got some assholes at bar stories. Ooh, I had to punch an asshole.
I remember that. I was there.
You got punched by an asshole, and I punched the asshole in return.
Yeah, I was fuck around. You were find out.
Exactly. He got punched by a guy. I beat the shit out of the guy.
I broke my glasses.
And I broke his like top brow.
Yes, you did. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Shameless in Chicago. You can find us on Spotify, really any of your podcast mediums. You can also find us on YouTube. We have new episodes on Spotify every Wednesday, and our YouTube videos drop every Thursday.
Oh, yeah. And you can come find me on all my social medias, Almighty Airmayne on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Come find me. I got new stuff coming soon. I got a single coming out in a couple weeks if you guys want to get down with that. Can't wait for you guys to hear it. And feel free to check out some of my other projects too. Personal training. Go follow me on Airmayne Lifts on all social media. You can come check out my graphic design page at Made by Almighty Designs. New stuff dropping soon at the beginning of May. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys there.
And you can also follow me on TikTok at And I'm Luke. And remember, you can also keep up with Nin and her travels over at Nin Vlogs. And join us next time as we finally get to watch Nin do a foot race with a Tesla Cybertruck that's been rusted for 3 months in a garage.
Oh my gosh. That sounds
interesting. I think she could win.
How do you rust that?
It's so easy. All right, everyone. You have a great day.
All right, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.